I think I was talking about cognitive dissonance then, and I want to add just a bit more to that. Why is my view? Seems rather large. So talking a little bit about persuasion again, there's a couple ideas that I want you to have in mind that salesmen... I did. Now, whether I'll remember to save it is highly debatable today, but whether it's going to be worth saving. So in terms of persuading people, there's a couple ideas you need to be aware of, both for the test but also in daily life, because they're used a lot by salespeople. And one is self-perception theory, and the idea, well, they both fall into self-perception theory. And the idea here is we are active observers of our own behavior, and we make judgments on the basis of that. One sales technique that you're probably familiar with is the foot in the door technique. And the foot in the door technique, even if you haven't heard it called that, I bet you have run into it. The classic study of this is based on the idea is based on the concept that if you can get somebody to do a little bit of something, you can get them to do more later. And the study that is pretty famous is this idea about if you could get people to put big, ugly public service announcement signs in their yard. I think they used about speeding or drinking and driving. I mean, they were very unattractive signs. So what they would do with one of their groups, one of their treatment groups, is they would take the sign to the door and say, would you put this sign in your yard? And not surprisingly, not that many people were interested in putting the ugly sign in their yard. But their second group, they would go to with a petition and would say something like, would you sign this petition that supports safer driving? And people would generally sign that. I mean, who's not, no, I want to sign the one for worse driving, right? It doesn't happen. So then they would come back a week or 2 weeks later to the people that they had talked to and asked to sign the petition. And what they found was, on the second visit, if they asked people to put the sign out in their yard, they were far more likely to. So the idea, the operating idea here in the foot in the door, is to get people to agree to something and then come back later and ask for more. You will see this all the time with campaign drives. If like public radio, public TV will ask you, just give anything. Part of that is they want to get your address, but part of it is they can get you to commit to a little bit. They can get you to commit to more later. Campaigns do the same thing. Salespeople do the same thing, right? So there is a reason they make basic model cars. And it's not because they want to sell, car manufacturers want to sell basic model cars. They want to sell them with all sorts of other things. And you'll notice that they put their packages together to where if you want, like the FM radio, you also have to get the tire package and all these other deals. But the idea is by getting you in to look at the car at the lower price, then they can start showing you the nicer chrome model, so on and so forth. So the idea is ask for a little, come back later and get more. Not a bad technique. The other version of that, and that's also kind of like the low ball technique as well. Now the low ball technique is a little bit sleazier. That's where, and you'll see this in all these ads that come out for the Black Friday. There'll be like the $12 23-foot TV. And it'll be there, the one. And the idea is to get people to come in on something small and then talk them into other things. It's kind of the classic there is the car salesman will talk you into buying a car. You will agree with the price. And he goes, okay, I just got to go back and get this approved through the manager. And then he'll come back all down, Manager wouldn't go for it. You know, I'm on your side, but that manager in back, he was a bad guy. And so what they'll try to do is get you, once you're committed to the idea of buying something, you're more likely to go along with other things. So my advice to you would be, if you are buying something that involves them going back to talk to their manager, is just to stop them and say, look, just send the manager out. We'll talk about prices. I appreciate that you're not in a position to make this deal. That's fine. I understand that. But I really choose not to talk through intermediaries. And they'll go, oh, well, that's not how it works here. And then that's where you need to say, really, oh, well, that's fine. It's your business. You get to do that. I'm going to go somewhere else. And believe me, you have much more power than you're going to feel like you do on their home turf. But just as you need to know, if there is a procedure where they need to go get approval for the price, you're being worked over, and they're using psychology. So this is important for more than just your exam. It's stuff you're going to run into for the rest of your life. So that's a couple techniques that you need to be aware of. Questions about those? All right.